Hey Tesla family, Ray J is back with another video. In this one, I want to analyze the current state of Tesla, the Q, spy footage, and a few more tickers. In addition, I'll analyze several key points made by Cathie Wood, who believes that Tesla should trade for $2,000, and by Jerome Powell. Before I get into any more specifics, please note that I am not a financial planner and that you should not construe anything I say as financial advice. Additionally, if it's possible, kindly click the Webull link that appears in the description and below. You will receive 20 free stocks when you register for Webull using the link below and make a $500 deposit into your account. If you make a deposit of at least $25,000, you will receive 75 free stocks. In just a few weeks in this off, friends, okay? What is going on with Tesla then? Here's where Tesla's wonderful structure is developing. Tesla is attempting to push a little bit as it established this small dip, a higher bottom at this point. However, at this point, we seem to be caught around this resistance, which is essentially 167.8 and 168, and we've been circling around a little. SPY is hedging a little bit as well, but I see some bullish potential here that may materialize later on, depending on how our closure goes. In a few minutes, I want to go into further depth about this. Let me quickly discuss Jerome Powell first, followed by Cathie Wood. He therefore gave a speech at lunchtime today alongside Jerome Powell. In essence, the man made some really significant remarks. He said that the latest data did not significantly alter the overall picture, which still shows strong growth, a labor market that is robust but in balance, and inflation that is gradually declining towards 2%. That is therefore crucial. This time, Jerome Powell was less than dovish. He acknowledges that the Fed will likely reduce later this year, if not later, but he also cautions that there may occasionally be rough patches and caution is advised. Additionally, he stated that the Fed is seeking additional data in order to obtain confirmation before reducing interest rates. This is because, as evidenced by the latest manufacturing data and the rising price of petrol in tandem with crude oil, there are signs that inflation is not at an end and may even rise in the future. Hence, you should handle all of this data with extreme caution. Having said that, the Fed is essentially waiting for additional proof that inflation is decreasing before lowering interest rates, all right? In essence, he's saying that they might not lower rates as early as June. They might not lower prices until later in the year because it might take them some time to obtain such information. In my view, they might begin by September, October, or November, or thereabouts, and that's something really very significant. Apart than that, Powell was, as usual, a little vague in the center. He stated that the Fed will be extremely cautious and carefully consider all options while examining additional data. The Fed does not want to lower rates too quickly or delay too long, inflicting needless harm. The market kind of took a little dip when he used the term bumpy path, which is not the best word to use. However, the market eventually recovered. Therefore, I think it's still holding up rather well. Powell, who typically tends to be in the middle, stated that the market is still kind of chopping at these high levels. So once we get our close and all that, we'll have to wait and watch what transpires with the subsequent moves. However, from Cathie Wood's perspective, we have some very, very excellent news regarding Tesla. According to Cathie Wood, she believes Tesla will eventually reach a price of $2,000 and that it is not the right time to sell because the stock is currently declining. In light of this, she mentions in an interview that she continues to be positive about Tesla and believes the company will continue to run really well in the future. Why then is Cathie such a Tesla believer? She claims that has a significant impact on how their AI will grow in the future. One of the factors she mentions is the optimum spot, but the robotaxi is the main one. She is quite certain that Tesla will continue to run strongly for the foreseeable future, not to mention FSD. She is attempting to reassure those who are investors. She is suggesting that even if Tesla's share price drops to 160, 150, or 120, it won't matter since the company's future is still incredibly bright. She sees AI as a huge game changer since it can be used to start a robot taxi and aid people all over the world. Therefore, in her opinion, Tesla's greatest achievement will be the robotaxi. With its ability to drive itself, even with the use of FSD technology and a neural network, this technology will tremendously benefit people. She believes that this will be extremely important in the future and that it will be of great help to people all around the world. She added that any more developments with Tesla's delivery are merely transitory in nature. She notes that deliveries are down and that present macroeconomic issues are impeding the situation, so of course this is not going to happen forever, but in the long run, she is still a tremendous bull, and I actually agree with her on a number of grounds. She added that Tesla's value is further assessed by the Optimus robot. She's a huge bull, so to speak, and she's eager about the future and isn't letting anything stop her. She sort of hinted that the more it decreases, the more she wants to buy, having stated that what is going on with the charts. Let's take a short look at this. With Tesla, the graph appears to be attempting a right turn. It looks really excellent because we produced a higher low in comparison to this low. This resistance is at 160. If we manage to overcome this, aim for a push towards roughly 170. We have this imbalance to fill if we manage to achieve a clean break, which may push us all the way up to roughly 173.50, the location of this imbalance. Technically speaking, there is a void for help there as well. 165 will be under our critical observation. 167.18 and 165 are present. A larger decline is expected if you lose 165, but generally this chart shows a really excellent trend. I believe that Tesla has potential, but we'll have to wait and see how we close. We're establishing a higher low and we might push further higher from here. It will appear quite excellent if we can close above 168. If we don't, it can take a little while longer for us to arrive, but all things considered, we're essentially limited to this range, so we'll have to wait and watch how Tesla performs. Will it spike briefly before leveling down again? The same thing happened to SPY. It was kind of range-bound and had some bullish momentum early in the morning. However, for the past 3 hours, it has just been extremely stuck. Thus, keep an eye on this range. If we push higher, 521 will act as resistance. We could easily push towards the 522s if we manage to break through this. If we begin to descend again, keep an eye on 519.4 for assistance. We'll have to wait and see whether we lose this, but generally SPY has some positive potential if we close over 522. Whether or not, there will be a greater drop. We've reached this high, formed a higher low, and are now attempting to break this high, so the chart is also beginning to appear a little more bullish. We need to keep this system in place. It won't be the best of indicators if we reverse course and close below 520. Therefore, I'd like to see a close over 520, if not 522.5, to see if SPY can maintain its position. Check to see whether this holds, then it's now displaying some life. Similarly, on the QQQ, we experienced a bottom around 438, bounced back, and ultimately tested 438.68, closing above 442 at minimum, if not this 200 EMA at 400E42.19. We'll be in a good position if we close over that. We would like to see this thing hold very good before we start pushing, but we could reach the infamous 446. Despite everything, I think this has some promise. Despite not looking good, Aapl was able to break over this barrier and close in on 170.68, but the problem is that we're now heading back down towards 170. We need to see if Aapl can hold our 5 EMA since we're not holding very well. We'll watch 170.06 to 170 then as our assistance. I'm going to be really patient with that because if we do recover from this, it might benefit the market. If we don't, it's not good news. And lastly, Nvda is currently just rearranging things about 900. It will be a positive indication for 9008 for tomorrow if we close over 900. Not the best of indicators, we might just keep shuffling if we close below it. Nvda has a head and shoulders structure that, in my opinion, offers it some fragility. As a result, even if we do push upward a little bit, this structure might always allow us to go back down. I'm going to exercise patience with the market for the time being because you should exercise extreme caution. We'll wait and see how things develop tomorrow. Let me also add that Riven has a somewhat weak-looking head and shoulders, much like Tesla. We will be searching for a support score of 10.5. Let me briefly go over a few more. Coinbase is attempting to push a little bit, so keep an eye on this 252 region, which is where we're cutting. If we close below 250, we'll be a little bit more bearish. If we close above, we might try to hold up better. However, even if we pop a little, we might still fall back down because of the head and shoulders leg structure that remains. Just use caution, I wouldn't put my whole trust in this. We did get extremely close to 183 for Amazon, but we are currently facing very stiff resistance. We might drop down below 181,000 if we receive a significant rejection and lose 182.5, which would be quite negative for Amazon. We merely need to exercise patience because there is still some life, but strong resistance will soon be encountered. We're kind of back where we started with Meta, stuck at 505 here. Should the market remain weak after 507, aim for a push into 510. Should we lose 68, it would be a positive indication. If not, things will happen as they will. So be ready for everything. I sincerely appreciate your attention, and I hope you all have the most amazing remainder of the day. I will see you in a few hours. I appreciate you listening, and now please go.